Welcome everybody to the Northern meeting for the ABM, to our discussion group, which Emma is going to lead this morning, talking about passion for profit. So looking forward to that. At this point, I think we should congratulate Emma, because I've just noticed she's put on LinkedIn that she's just got her ILM level 7. Is that right, Emma?
Yeah.
Yeah, so well done for that.
Thank you. I think there's a couple of us in the room that have done the ILL7. Brenda, Chris, yeah, well done to everybody. I know how difficult it is.
So I'll just run through a few kind of parish notices for those who've just joined us. We have apologies from Jem Gunn, who's one of our other ambassadors, because she's actually doing her ILM level 7 training this morning. So we've been working on a plan for the North. Each region has got its own plan. And so we've decided that we should aim to have a meeting on the first Friday of every month at 11 o'clock. And that way, hopefully that keeps it simple for people. They can put that in their diary, block book it, and assume that there's something going to take place. I can't guarantee, honestly, that it will be every first Friday of the month.
Second Friday, John.
No, first Friday, Emma.
Have you moved it?
Today's the exception.
Oh, well, I better change my calendar. Okay, sorry about that.
We did have a meeting to discuss this for the benefit of the tape.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was the first one that we couldn't get because somebody else had got it. So first Friday of the month at 11 o'clock every time. So the first one in November, the 3rd of November, that'll be a kind of an open networking meeting. And then I'm planning, needs a bit of final agreement, but for the 1st of December, Jem Gunn is going to be talking about mental health first aid. And we're trying to line up some other speakers. We've got some discussions that are about to take place there, sorting that out. So one of the challenges that I face as chair is that we've got this massive region, and how does that work? And one of the thoughts that we had was that we've got 3 ambassadors, myself, Emma, Jem, and Andy Hartley, who's over as kind of Ilkley way on. So Emma, can I tell everybody roughly where you are?
Yeah, sure.
So Emma's from North Lincolnshire, which is my homeland as well, so I'm quite enthusiastic. And Jem's over Cheshire way on. So the thought is that as we go about our business, that we will perhaps be, for example, I need to go to Sunderland quite regularly at the moment, and we will put on the LinkedIn group for the North that we're going to be in a certain area at a certain day at a certain time. They will be random, it's subject to our availability, and we'd like to offer you to be able to meet with us, and we might meet in a Starbucks or a local hotel, just very informal, but we'll give an approximate location and a definite time and definite date. And if you're available and would like to meet us to have a cup of coffee and just a general sort of chat and get to know each other, that you send us a private message back on LinkedIn, and we'll tell you exactly where it is. And the reason for doing that is A, for a bit of kind of safety for us, and B, to make sure that we don't get like 20 people arriving at the same Starbucks at the same time, which could be quite embarrassing. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. And then as we get to know each other better, we can perhaps get together a proper face-to-face group where everybody who wants to can attend. And we need to work out where that's going to be. I think probably the optimum location at the moment is Leeds, but let's just see how we go over the coming weeks and months. So that is the parish notices concluded. So I'll just hand over to Emma as Michael comes in.
Brilliant. Thank you, John. Okay. So, so welcome everybody to our first Northern discussion group. Thank you for joining us this morning. I know we've got some old faces in here that have been around the ABM for a long time, and we've got some new faces as well. We've got a growing membership base, which is really exciting for us, and we've got a complete mix of people at different stages in their mentoring career. So thank you for joining me today. The session today is about turning your passion into profit. I know that some of you are well established with your business. Some of you have got your marketing, because I watch what you're doing. Some of you got your marketing absolutely nailed, and you've got your messaging right, and I can see that happening, Brenda. Some of you will be just starting in your journey, and some of you will want a bit of a refresh. So hopefully this session will either give you some new thoughts or give you a bit of a refresh to think about where you currently are. So I'm going to share screen. 1 second. And I think Barbara is going to man the chat for me. Are you, Barbara?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So Barbara's going to man the chat. So if at any point you want to stop me or add something or say something, then please feel free to do so. Can I see the chat whilst I do this? Let me just check. Yes, I can. All right. So I've got the chat up as well. So if at any point you want to ask me any questions, you want to stop me, you want to put anything in the chat, please do that. This is an interactive session, so it'll work best when we talk to each other, we add our thoughts, we pop things in the chat, and we all learn better when we learn from each other, when we share thoughts, we share experiences. So please note that whenever we run any session like this, it is a confidential space. You're all mentors and understand confidentiality, and that is the same for this session as well. So if there is anything you want to share, discuss, talk about, then please let's have that mutual understanding that this is a confidential space to share information. Great. All right, so passion to profits. Let's make a start. So I'm Emma. I know quite a lot of you. I'm the, as John said, the regional ambassador for the North. I've been with the ABM, about 4 years now, and I work with them in a number of areas. So I currently run the Help to Grow peer-to-peer facilitation sessions, along with some of my colleagues in the room. We run those facilitation sessions. I also work on a steering group for the Help to Grow project, so I'm quite involved with the Help to Grow. Outside of the ABM, I am a consultant, mentor and trainer. My specialist area is marketing, and I've been a marketeer for about 25 years with a specialism in digital marketing. I'm also delivering the Help to Grow programme for Lincoln University. I was a senior lecturer with the university in the business school for around 5 years, and I'm back now as a consultant lecturer on a freelance basis, delivering the Help to Grow programme and a number of other programmes that I'm writing and delivering for SME businesses. So those are the sort of plates that I spin. In terms of my mentoring and my consulting and training, I follow a clarity-driven growth approach. And this is my approach, this is my methodology. It's very simple. It's just basically, we can't move forward unless we've got absolute clarity on where we are, what's going on, where we want to be. So everything that I do is underpinned by a real strong clarity base. Okay. So what I want to start off with today is just get your thoughts on things. So challenges with regards to promoting your business, challenges with regards to turning that passion into profit. What are the biggest challenges that you face? And you can either pop your mic on and tell me, or pop it in the chat if you want to, and I'll read some of them out. So what would you say was your biggest challenge, or the one that keeps you up, or the one that you keep coming back to? Structure and processes, Liza. Yeah, absolutely. Target audience, David. It's always a problem, target audience. It's one of the things that underpin absolutely every area of your business and your marketing. Brenda, I can see you've got your hand up.
Yeah, people thinking having a business mentor shows some sort of weakness in them, rather than it being a strength to have a business mentor. They seem to think it's admitting there's something wrong, and therefore that's why they need a business mentor.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one, Brenda. And I think that's around how we position mentoring, how we communicate the benefits of mentoring. And I think that's a job for all of us to tackle all together. I think it's shifting though, do you?
It's definitely shifting, definitely. The ABM, I think the work that they've done recently is huge help towards shifting it.
Yeah.
So it's for all of us to spread that message on, I guess.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of it comes from, if you're in an organization and you feel like you need a mentor, can you go to your boss and say, actually, I think I'd really benefit from having a mentor, without feeling like you're not good enough? But if you know that those in the senior leadership team fully understand and appreciate the value of mentoring, that becomes a much easier conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else have we got in here? Let's have a look. Structural challenges with sales. Yep, sales. Absolutely. Is that making the sale, Kristen, or generating the leads? What do you think?
Making the sale. Making the sale. Yeah.
Okay. So once you've got the lead through, once you've got that sort of initial discovery call, then actually turning that into a paying client.
Yeah, I think because I personally get switched off when people are too salesy with me.
Yeah.
And I found it on LinkedIn in particular. My LinkedIn is rubbish and I'm just actively trying to extend it at the moment. But I'm getting all these people, you know, targeting me with sales messages. And I literally, it's like flicking a switch. I just switch off totally. Yeah. And I don't want to ever be doing that, you know, to my target clients. And it's striking that balance really.
Yeah, I fully get that. As a marketeer who started life in sales, I hated that too. In fact, I started life selling timeshare. There wasn't a bigger heavy sales sell ever. But yeah, and I hated it too. I just didn't feel good about myself. And when I kind of progressed my career, I went into inbound marketing rather than push advertising and push sales. So it's all about helping people come to you, helping them identify and understand the real value of what you deliver and understand that you're the right person for them, and then getting them to come to you to say, actually, will you work with me?
Yeah.
And that's the golden nugget, when you can get that, when you've got people that just come to you and say, I've seen what you do, I like how you do it, everything that you're saying resonates with me. It all makes perfect sense. I've been sort of lurking in the background and watching you. The timing's now right. Can we work together?
Yeah.
That's what you want. And then you don't have to do that pushy sales, you know? Okay, so a couple of other things as well. The value of mentorship, it's been devalued a bit recently. Absolutely. Marina, we're going to talk about that today. So I think you'll get some value out of the session. And Brenda's got a suggestion for a future speaker. Brilliant. Thank you so much. As a sales trainer, that would be really helpful. Barbara, got to be how I charge, value-based, but default is on transactional price. Yeah, absolutely, Barbara. Again, if we can focus on the value, it really does help things. Good. Okay, so that helps because I think I'm on the right track with this presentation today. I'm glad you've all said that. All right, anybody know who this guy is?
Oh, hold
on. Anybody? Shout it out, pop it in the chat, whatever you want. All right, I'm going to give you a clue. Okay, this might help. Brenda, I think you know who this is.
Edward de Bono, the hats.
Ah, no, but
no,
really...
I've looked at the de Bono down the David Ramby put de Bono. I thought that was our clue.
No. Good guesses.
Oh, I know.
Come on, Brenda.
Oh God, what's his name? I use this quote all the time about that you want a hole, not a drill.
Go on.
Oh, he's a Harvard professor.
Yeah.
What's his name?
It's called Theodore Levitt.
That's it, yes.
He's the legendary Harvard Business School professor in marketing. And he famously said, and I might be misquoting this because I've not written it down, but he famously said, people don't want a 1/4 inch drill. Nobody wants to buy a 1/4 inch drill. They want a 1/4 inch hole. That's what he said. And this has been bounded around marketing marketing theory forever. So you'll have come across him, Brenda, for sure.
Yeah,
what it
definitely.
means is, it's not the product or the service that people really want. Nobody gets up in the morning and goes, I really, really, more than anything, want a business mentor. They want the value of that business mentor. They want what that business mentor brings. They want the outcome. They want to be more confident in their career. They want to move up the career ladder. They want to push their business forward. They want to be able to better manage their finance. They want to be a better leader. They want the outcome of the mentoring. And that's what we're going to focus on today. So, benefits of mentoring. The presentation today and our session today is going to focus on 3 areas for you. First of all, trying to understand things at an individual level. So for all of us, there are common benefits as mentors that we deliver to the individual at the individual level. I'm going to talk about that because that will help you to articulate and communicate your value offering. This will help you with your marketing, it will help you with your sales, and it will help you to increase the value, as we were talking about with Brenda earlier when she said it had been devalued. This will help you increase that value. So yeah, individual level. Then we've got the organizational level. Many of us work with the organizational level, where we'll go in at the organizational level and we'll mentor several of their leadership team or their management team. And as we said, if we can change the conversation at that leadership level around the value of mentoring, we've got a better chance of getting our service in there into bigger organizations. And then we need to think about you as an individual. What's your unique value proposition? So what do you do that's different to everybody else? What are those intrinsic strengths and skills and abilities and experiences and knowledge that you've got that's different to what everybody else does? Have you got a certain way of working, or have you got a model or something that you use, an approach that you take, something that's your unique value proposition that sets you aside from everybody else? So that's what we're going to look at today. So I've got to start you thinking about this, to get the brain working. This is our ABM patron, Rita Bologna, and she said there are 5 that key kind of areas of benefits. There are lots more, and we're going to discuss these shortly. But just to start you thinking, some of the benefits that she's said are that mentees gain new perspectives on things, helps kind of expand their perspective and expand their world. So they gain new perspectives from your experience. It helps them develop that entrepreneurial mindset and thinking about how they can develop and grow their business in more of a growth mindset and an entrepreneurial way. It can help them improve their leadership skills and abilities. It massively opens up their networks, because many of us as business mentors are well connected. We can put them in touch with lots of different people. And nearly every single mentee that I've ever mentored, regardless of what they've come to me for, confidence building has always been something that's happened as a result of the mentoring. You know, even if they've come to me for, you know, sorting out their value propositions or their customer profiles or their customer journeys, confidence always comes on the back of working with a mentor. So that's just to get you thinking. So the first task that I've got you to do today, I'd like to split you into groups, and the lovely Barbara is going to help me with the tech, and we're going to put you into 2 groups, Group A and Group B. Okay, now if you end up in Group A, what I'd like you to do is think about the specific benefits of mentoring and coaching to the individual at an individual level. And whilst you're thinking of these benefits, have a think through if you can consider how you might measure that, because this is one of the most difficult things for us as mentors, is to put a measurable value to our mentorship. So how might you measure it? What metrics might you use? That'll help us to start thinking about return on investment. So that's Group A. Group B, I would like you to think about this at an organisation level. So at an organisational level, what are the benefits to the organisation of having their team mentored? So having their senior team, their management team, or their executives mentored, what's the benefit to the organisation? And I've started you off just with a couple. So for each group, could you please, when you get in your group, pick one person to be the scribe. I'm going to get Barbara to make sure, and I'll check as well, that you've got a link to this Padlet. The Padlet's an online Padlet. You just add a comment. You just click on this plus sign here if you've not used a Padlet before, and it'll let you put a comment on. And that's stored in the cloud, and then we can bring that back into the group and have a look at it. If you've not used Padlet before as a tool, it's a great tool. So we'll make sure you've got the links. All right, so there'll be a link for Group A and a link for Group B. We need a scribe, and then when we've finished putting these on, we'll come back into this room, and I need a presenter to just talk through what you've come up with. All right, so you've got about 10 minutes. Can I ask Barbara to put you into groups A and B for me now?
10 minutes or 15 minutes?
10 minutes, love, if that's okay.
No problem at all.
Thank
Once I put
you.
everyone in the groups, I'll put the links in there so you guys can open it. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
open the rooms now. I'll put Emma and John as well in each group, or if that's okay.
Yeah, great. And then we can be in the groups. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Space just to really reflect how amazing, and that is a win for them when they have those like light bulb moments. In terms of a measurement, we talked about, a few of us will ask people at the beginning to maybe do like a personal SWOT, and then if you repeat that SWOT maybe 3-6 months in, it gives them a sense of how maybe with areas they've strengthened, but also highlight maybe some areas that still need further developing. So that was kind of a form of measurement, that personal SWOT. Yeah. Managing overwhelm. Yeah, a common theme through clients is just that feeling of overwhelm. There's so much going on in their head. The word you used, they haven't got the clarity because they can't see the wood for the trees. So if they can come out with it with like a clear action plan or a clear next step, again, that's kind of a win in a form of measurement. Yeah, and we talked about some people use particular techniques, again, sort of indexing things like wheel of life. So where are you now, and then where you are later on, further down the sessions. Accountability partner through healthy conversation with mentor, measure getting, yeah, as I said, that's that eureka light bulb moment. Commercial acumen, we talked about that as their mentor, we can be there. A lot of our clients, they know their business and their passion and their product or service, but they might just lack general commercial acumen. So whether it's marketing or strategy or finance, we can help them fill those gaps in terms of building that or broadening their commercial acumen. Improve performance. Senior executive might see mentoring coach how to prove. So I'm having to read these because I didn't write them.
You're right.
Senior executive might see mentoring coach and how to prove. All right, okay, somebody's, yeah. So again, that's very similar, I guess. It's just if there's this particular skill that they want to improve on or get feedback on, and like general, I guess, sort of businessy type metrics there, productivity, financial performance. I've just had a mentoring session this morning with somebody, and they're doing a presentation to their board next week. So we used the session for them to go through the presentation with me, and I'll pretend I'm a board member hat on. So I guess there's things like that where you're actually helping them then to deliver a better presentation because they've kind of rehearsed it or practiced it with you. So improved performance. Sorry, I gabbled there because I didn't know I was going to feedback.
That's okay. You did a brilliant job, Brenda. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think it's great. You've been a really great start here with all of this. And it just starts you thinking about, actually, rather than talking about our sort of service, thinking about what's the outcome of that, what's the benefit, what's the value, and then figuring out how we measure that value. So it's good to kind of get a focus on that. Let's go to Group B. I think Chris is going to be the spokesperson for Group B. Are you, Chris?
I think so, yeah. Brenda, they just picked the one who talks the most, I think.
I was trying not to be that one, though, because I know I'm always that one.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So from an organisational point of view, we talked about engagement, staff retention, how, and that ultimately save recruitment costs. we talk about sort of that consistency of approach across the business, and how that works on certainly with larger organisations, where if you can get everybody singing from the same hymn sheet, and we talked about sort of setting standards around training, developing people, and how that could be more effective using coaching and mentoring rather than just telling people and just training, I guess. And you can baseline all that from a productivity and outputs point of view. In terms of, I think we sort of talked about sort of business culture and how that changes, and sort of the brash environments that I tend to work in, which is warehouse, logistics, manufacturing, where we're talking about owner businesses that have had an owner a business owner for the last 20 years. It's family run, and it's always, I'll do it at my way. And what we're trying to do is talk about being a bit more empathetic and giving them the idea that they need to use a little bit of emotional intelligence, and that if they change their own methods, they can actually benefit more and get a better team out of it. And I come across that a hell of a lot. And it's more about sort of thinking about succession planning. We talked about succession planning, and I think somebody said HR has been trying to do this for years, but the rest of the business doesn't follow suit. And so again, it's that benefit that by engaging people through mentoring, there's a succession plan later down the line. We're training people to actually take over the business, not just leave and go elsewhere for better money. So that sort of sums up the points that we put.
Thank you, Chris. That was brilliant. And you're absolutely right. I think all of us over the last couple of years, I don't think any of us will have had a client who hasn't been struggling with retaining and recruiting top talent. It's been right up there as one of the major challenges for all the SMEs that I've engaged with for years, for at least 2 years now. And so having that succession planning in place and having a mentor as part of that succession planning, it's got huge benefits to organisations in terms of saving costs, retaining staff, a happier workforce, a better mindset. So absolutely great. Thank you for doing that task for me. It is, as I say, just to start you thinking about the benefits and how you measure those benefits. And as Brenda quite rightly said, we looked at this a little bit on the ILM 7. So just a bit of a plug for the training for the ILM 3, 5 and 7. If you've not engaged in any of that training, it's massively worthwhile doing. It really helps you to examine your practice, examine mentoring and coaching, examine things like this, like the benefits and how you explain those benefits, and really do a lot of self-reflection to think about your own progression. If anybody wants to chat with me about that at any point, please feel free to get in touch. I'm always happy to talk to you about that. Okay, so let's move on with the presentation. Okay, what I want you to do next is I want you to now bring this into the intrinsic value that you deliver. Okay, because you can put all of these things in your communications, in your marketing and sales communications. You can include all of these brilliant value-based benefits in there, the general ones, but then the specific ones as well. So just to start you thinking about this, and some of you may have done this before, so it might just be a recap, but yeah, to start you thinking about this, I want you to get into pairs now and spend 10 minutes, just 5 minutes each, and I want you to try and articulate. You don't have to have this absolutely nailed. You can just start you thinking about it. Try and articulate who is your ideal target client. And I mean ideal, I don't mean, just a general one, the one you really want, the one you really enjoy working with. Who's your ideal client? And if you can try and think of one person, that usually helps with marketing, and, focus it all on that one real person. So try and describe your ideal client. And then try and think through, what are their pains? What are their specific pains, their challenges, what keeps them up at night, what worries them, what stops them from achieving, stops them from progressing, stops them from doing what they want to do. So what stops them from succeeding? What are their key pains? Try and talk through those. And then try and explain the outcome. So what's different when you've worked with that person? So what is the benefit-led outcome? So what's different? What's changed? How do they feel? What's the outcome of them working with you? And then try and think of what's unique. What's that one thing that's uniquely you? That one thing that you've got that no one else has got, the thing that stands you out from the competition. It can be a way of working, an approach, your experience, your knowledge, your skills, your strengths. What's that thing that is different? All right, is that all? Does that all make sense? Well, I'm going to ask Barbara to put you into pairs, and you've got 10 minutes to discuss this with your partner. Thanks, Barbara.
One group will be 3 just because of numbers. So
That's fine.
one pair will be 3.
Thanks, Barbara.
That's okay. I cannot wait for the weekend.
Okay, everybody's coming back. Well, we've got one pair back. Just wait for everybody else to get back.
Will you post the recording somewhere, Barbara?
Pardon?
Will you post the recording of this session somewhere for people to?
Yeah, we can. We can, and we can send it to people who couldn't attend.
Is it possible for you to post it into the LinkedIn group for the North, please?
I think, in theory, I'm going to double check with Laura, but I think
if,
we can. If it's just a video, yeah.
Yeah, if you could put that in, and then the other people who are in that group will hopefully see it. Thank you.
Brilliant. Great stuff. Thanks for coming back. I hope that you found that useful. I've got one more task. I'm conscious of time, but I've got one more thing that I'd like you to do to just wrap this up. I'm going to just share my screen with you. So the last thing I'd like you to do before you go is I would really love it if you could put in the chat a sentence that explains who you help, what the benefit is, the outcome, and what your unique way of working is, or your unique service offering. So it starts, I help whoever it is you help, try and just articulate that in just a couple of words. I help busy professional entrepreneurs or something, or whatever it is, to what's the outcome? So what's the benefit? How do they feel when they've done that work with you? What's the outcome? By delivering what specifically is it that you deliver that's unique to you? See if you can write out that sentence. It doesn't have to be perfect. When I do this, and I do this with clients, we sometimes write out about 50 of these sentences until we get it right. So it doesn't have to be the final one. It's just to get you into the process of thinking in that way. I help who to achieve what? What's the benefit? By delivering what is your unique service offering? Pop it in the chat for us if you can, please. That would be brilliant. And you can write as many of these out as you like, because some of you might have a primary target audience, and a secondary target audience. Some of you might have multiple outcomes that you want to focus on, and some of you might have multiple ways of working. But to see if you can write that sentence and pop it in the chat, or a couple of those sentences, and it'll just get you thinking about the benefits and your unique value proposition. Okay, Kim, you can't go without putting it in the chat. You're not allowed.
It's been lovely to see you. This has been incredible. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I hopped in here. And thanks to everybody. And I will see you again soon.
Thanks, Kim. Pleasure to see you as always. You take care.
Yeah. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let's what we've got in here. We've got a couple of people that need to go. We are at 12, so if you do need to go, that's absolutely fine. If you want to hang around for a couple of minutes, that's great. We are at the end of the session now anyway. This was the last task for you. So if you do need to go, please don't worry. If you can stay, great. We'll have a look at these in the chat. Let's just move the chat over there so I can see. And we'll stop sharing. Okay, I help clients improve their profitability and quality of service by improving their operational processes, also helping them understand their strategy. Brilliant, John. The only way that I would improve this is to be specific about clients. So name the clients. What sort of clients? Like, You know, what level of clients? Can you get more specific? So rather than just say clients, what type of clients? I help MDs to define their clear business strategy so that they have a plan for scale and exit. Brilliant, Kristen. If again you can get more specific with that MD in a specific sector or a specific type, that would really help. And if you can add on to that anything that's unique, your unique way of working, to keep working on it. Tina, championing startups to lighten the load, gain confidence and time together. Brilliant. It's really benefit focused, Tina. I like that because you're listing out those benefits. Again, I'd get a bit more specific about the target audience. And the reason for this when we do our marketing is because if they can identify themselves, it's called lookalike marketing. And if your target audience can see, oh yeah, that's me, then they'll connect with you better. I help business owners and senior leaders improve their business process effectiveness by defining and redesigning business processes and workflows, and also upskilling, developing management and leadership skills. Yeah, great, Chris. I'd split that down so it's a bit more choppy, and I'd really try and think about focusing on the benefits rather than what you actually do, and finding your uniqueness in there. And again, always it comes back to the more clear you can get with regards to exactly who is your target audience. So, you know, it could be I help SME business owners of scaling businesses who want to scale from 1 to 5 million. Very specific service-based SME businesses who want to scale from 1 to 5 million. Great. Something a bit more specific. Liza, I help female executive leaders to gain confidence in their working relationship. Brilliant. Okay. So again, you just kind of need a by delivering what on the end of that. Great start, everybody. It started you thinking about it. Keep going with that now. It really is a good starting point. So keep going with that. You can write out as many of these as possible. Thank you for joining me today. It's been great to have you. And if we are not already connected on LinkedIn, please do connect with me. Keep in touch. I'm always available if anybody wants to chat. If you want to pick my brains about anything, ABM or ILM training or help to or anything, I'm available if anybody wants to chat. That's my LinkedIn. Thank you for joining.